And there I was the girl from Suits.
This One's Wife. Disney, give me the tour. One of the entertaining aspects about This One's Wife, who otherwise tends to cause people to feel nauseated, boils their blood and pisses them off, is that she keeps on fucking up. The reason she does this is that she has no insight or awareness. This is something that many people struggle to comprehend. Not because they're stupid, they just find it unbelievable that a person could be so dim as to not notice the way that they behave and how problematic it is. But what you have to remember is that the narcissist, in essence, has something missing. That particularly lesser and mid-range narcissists have an inability to read the room, to understand how their behaviour looks, that their behaviour is framed to them in a different way than the way it is framed to everybody else. It's like they're watching a film which has the same actors, the same scenery, but it's a different film altogether from the one that you've witnessed. People regularly shake their heads at the behaviour of the narcissist, unable to comprehend how the narcissist has behaved in the way that they have, and how they can't see, for instance, their contradictory nature or hypocrisy. This One's Wife falls squarely within that, and that's why she keeps making the mistakes. Her narcissism is not so as evolved to enable a near-perfect facade. We regularly see cracks in it. And as I've explained elsewhere, because she has such a level of prominence and there are plenty of people who don't like her, she's subjected to many, many fact-checkers in relation to what she does. She's scrutinised on a daily basis, and her narcissism just isn't up to the job to deal with that level of scrutiny. Thus, repeated holes are found in the things that she says. Gaps are identified in her activities. She is exposed for the revisions of history that she is engaged in. There'd be some people who would think she ought to recognise that she keeps messing up, and therefore she would just stop and withdraw, stop being entitled, stop being unpleasant, stop poking her nose in, stop being demanding, but she can't help it, because she doesn't think she's entitled. She doesn't think that she's poking her nose in. She doesn't think that she's involving herself in something where she's not wanted. She believes she's accessed all areas. She believes that people want to hear from her. She believes that what she does is interesting and effective, so she keeps on doing it. Remember, each time there is a fuck-up, each time where she's ridiculed, each time where there's a failure, it's never her fault. Unlike a non-narcissist that would go, I see where I went wrong with that, I'm not going to do that again, she's blinded to it. Because her narcissism tells her the reason archetypes didn't do very well in the end was because the people that suggested the material for you didn't really understand the brief. It was nothing to do with your presenting style. You were fantastic. It was nothing to do with it being you that killed it. No, it was other people not doing their jobs properly. The reason that the TIG hasn't reappeared yet is nothing to do with her inherent laziness, but because other people haven't done things that they ought to do so. The reason that the ridicule came from South Park wasn't because it was justified. Everything they said there was ridiculous and untrue. They've just made things up. They're just nasty. You see, she can't recognise her mistakes because the narcissist is never wrong. And even where a narcissist does admit that they're at mistake, it's not a true admission. It's a fake one, which is only done to draw you in and make you think that the narcissist is compromising or has recognised that they have done wrong. It's simply another manipulation. Thus, This One's Wife, completely blinded to her behaviour, continues to put her cloven hoof in it and make demands. And we have another instance of a purported demand on the part of This One's Wife, which is most entertaining. As always, I leave it to you to make a determination as to the veracity of this material, but it's produced by Ent Lawyer and has been picked up and regurgitated by Valuable Efficiency 23 on the subreddit This One's Wife. They use her full name, as you know I do not. The blind item states, Speaking of theme parks, the illiterate one wanted a private late-night tour of the one in Anaheim. That's the Disney Land Resort, and was told they don't even do that for the big stars. That is how it was phrased too. That is the suggestion, that this one's wife asked for a private late-night tour of a Disney park. But she was then told, we don't even do that for the big stars. So there's a lovely double whammy there. Did this happen? You have to determine yourself. Could it have happened? Absolutely. This one's wife, with her innate self-absorption, sense of importance, and sense of entitlement, might clearly have asked that she get a private tour. After all, she's the most important woman in the universe. She would want to have that because she believes she's important. We witness that in a day-to-day activity. She wanders around with security even when crossing a car park. Why? Because it engenders in her mind a sense of importance. Most people wouldn't go near her. She has in her mind, generated by paranoia, that there are these hordes of middle-aged white women ready to throw tomatoes at her. The actual fact is, the most that people would do would be to boo her. Nobody's so stupid as to run up and physically assault her. Instead, they would just boo her. But many people don't even pay her any attention. You recall from the parking lot pap walk that a lady walked right past her and didn't give her a second glance, which of course will have caused mind wounding for her. Thus, this one's wife has an inflated sense of importance generated by her narcissism, which we've seen by the fact that she needs to push in front of Harry, that she needs to interrupt his handshakes, that she needs to have security around her, that she needs to stare down the camera lens. She is the main character. Thus, it follows that she could quite conceivably have asked for a private late-night tour. However, she was knocked back, and she was knocked back with a double whammy. The first is, she was told no, which of course never goes down well with a narcissist, but then salt was rubbed into the wound when they stated they don't even do that for the big stars, suggesting she isn't one. Thus, it was a no for this one's wife, a delicious burn for her, if this information is accurate, and she will have been wounded by the refusal and then provided with challenge fuel as a consequence of being told that they didn't even do that for the big stars. Cue much clenching of jaw and quite possibly stamping on Harry's toe when other people looked away. Another example of the entitlement of the narcissist and how, because it's this one's wife, it doesn't get her anywhere. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.